Today, I'm going to show you the result of my Philodendron Micans propagation.
As you can see guys, gumamit ako ng sphagnum moss and leca balls as medium for this propagation. Just a short background, the plant was given to me by a plant seller as a cutting dahil sobrang trailing na ang mother plant niya at nag-wild na ang stems ng kanyang Philodendron Micans. So, we're fortunate enough to be able to have this plant for free. The cutting, by the way, was so long, so you have to chop the plant into 5 cuttings, considering also that it has 5 nodes. I also used readily available cups and food containers for this propagation. Let's see how the roots developed after a month of propagation. Alright, let's start with this first one. By the way, I keep the old leaves of this plant at hindi ko siya kinat guys just to make sure the cuttings will be able to get and sustain its energy from the sun through photosynthesis. Let me remove gently the sphagnum moss first. Okay, so ayan, meron na akong nakikitang new growth point at konting roots and I think talagang nakasurvive na itong cuttings na ito guys. Let's just be very careful sa pagtanggal ng moss because we might damage the new roots if magmadali tayo, no? Let's carefully set this aside and let's check the other cup. Alright, so this one is very interesting. As you can see guys, kita na agad ang kanyang new growth point. Same as the first one, let's just be very careful sa pag-remove ng sphagnum moss sa roots niya. And here you go guys. Talagang buhay na itong cutting na ito. Okay, so let's just carefully set this aside muna while we check our other cuttings. Now, proceed naman tayo sa propagation natin where I use our old food containers para lagyan ng mga cuttings. I seal this using scotch tape so that the air and humidity will be trapped inside. And by the way guys, this cutting doesn't have leaves when I propagated it. Alright, so I can immediately see na mukhang hindi okay ang result for this one kasi meron siyang sign of rot at medyo may amag siya guys. Although I can see na meron pa din siyang node at hindi pa siya nabubulok, I think it just need more time para mag-grow ng roots at mag-start ng new growth point. Let's keep this container aside and move on to the last container. The good thing about using food container guys is that it is transparent and you can see how the cuttings are doing inside. And same as the first one, it is just a wet stick, meaning wala siyang leaves at node lang ang meron sa kanya. I can see that this one also has a new growth point now, while this one, although maliit ang roots na na-produce, it was able to have new leaf and I think it focused its energy to grow its leaf over the roots. And by the way guys, I also tried using leca balls as I am seeing a lot of plant people using this medium in propagating their plants. And as I can see, meron na din siyang small roots at maliit na growth point. So guys, just to give you clear view sa new roots, growth points at new leaves nila, here is an up-close shot ng mga cuttings. Okay, so the next step after natin sila ma-remove sa kanilang propagation containers is to ensure that we remove all the remaining sphagnum moss na nakadikit sa kanilang new roots. This is because sphagnum moss can easily retain moisture and we want to avoid that para makaiwas din tayo sa root rot at ang pagkabulok ng mga ugat ng ating halaman. As we all know, Philodendrons, just like these micans, are thriving in a chunky, airy soil mix. They don't like substrate na nagre-retain ng too much moisture because they are very prone sa root rot. So, our next step is to pot these cuttings. In this step, we have to make sure that they have enough space to grow their roots. That's why I made sure that meron silang proper distancing. Let's ensure also na yung growth points nila ay hindi masyadong matatakpan ng ating mix para mas mabilis sila mag-grow. Make sure also to spread the mix and cover the roots ng ating mga micans. And the last step is to water the soil thoroughly until we can see water dripping sa ilalim ng pot. This means na saturated na ang soil at may enough water na ang ating plants for its new roots. As I've said earlier, arid mix does not retain water inside the pot, so the new roots of our micans are safe from root rot. So, there you have it guys, our Philodendron Micans after a month of propagation using sphagnum moss and leca balls. Few more weeks pa and I'm sure that new leaves will come out indicating that we have almost 100% propagation success rate.